Okay. I'll get the schmutz off of there. What have I been doing? Well, I finally got my new journal, one of my new journals together. And I divide my journals into 6 months because it's a little bit easier that way, because I make my own. And this one I decided to do as a coptic stitch. A coptic stitch is an unsupported stitch, meaning that there's nothing along the spine that is supporting the book. I do plan on adding a book cover. Let's see, where did I put that? It's back here. I'd made up these mocks to see what I wanted to do, and I intend to do something along the lines of, like I said, if you're in the United States, you know all about making book covers out of brown bags. And this is what I intend to do. I'm not sure that this is the exact one. I want to do something that's a little bit more sturdy, but I'm not exactly sure what that entails. I may just go ahead and fold one like this. This needs to be folded a little bit better, because this cover was not, I kind of did this without measuring. I was just holding stuff up and moving stuff around. So essentially this is what it would be, but you can see this back here is like terrible wonky. I mean, like terrible wonky. But in an effort to keep the spine not supported, but just covered when I'm putting it places so it doesn't catch on things. Another thing about this is I wanted to use items that I already had on hand. So that meant I wasn't going to go and buy anything specifically new for this, although I did end up actually getting a couple of things, but it totaled less than $10, so I kind of feel like it's okay, and there are things that I can use over and over again. So what I've done that's different in this one is that if we open up the page spread, I've kept the page spread essentially the same. This is January 18th, 2026, Sunday. I'll talk about these stamps in a minute. And I've got the colors that I use to designate certain things. Like blue is anything I do on computer. Green is the actual work that I accomplish during that day. Blue, anything up here that is accomplished on computer work. And that can be anything from like answering emails, confirming appointments, that sort of thing. Along with, I posted to my Patreon, I posted to my YouTube, that sort of thing. Because at this point, it's Patreon and YouTube are my only things that I post online right now. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with my website. This is actual like physical work that is accomplished, like and you can see this is January 18th. It's starting on the 18th this year because I was hemming and hawing and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And it was just one of those things. I didn't want to push myself to do something and then hate what I did, because limited resources kind of thing. I wanted to get it where I wanted it to be. I didn't want to waste anything because I hate wasting supplies. So that's why it's starting on the 18th. I gave myself a little bit of time. So it's going to start this next Sunday, or this upcoming Sunday. So this is all physical work. Anything that I've done in the physical world. And I'm trying to look around here and see if I can grab anything other than this book. But that's kind of how it is. So, well, yeah, I guess I can. Like, here, this is physical work. This is physical work. And I'm going to talk about this in a minute too, because you can see there's not been a whole lot of work done on this, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So, and then down here are all my regular appointments, that sort of thing. Like I have a doctor's appointment, I have a hair appointment. It seems like it's either hair, doctor's appointment or running an errand someplace. Now over here, you can see when I open this up, then I go immediately to the 19th. This is the big change for me, and one of the reasons I really had to have two journals for this year, is that this side is now where I will be. One of the things that I wanted to do more of this year was physically write things down about my feelings, etc. And because this is Patreon, you know, I have multiple places and things that I need to write down because I'm seeing a dietitian and I'm also seeing a therapist. So I realized last year that having the 3 different journals was just not working. So if I have a little bit more places to write things down that are in one place, the one thing that I touch, and it's opened up to a spread, I'm kind of trying to make sure that it's like, oh, I'm already here. I might as well write down what I had for, you know, keeping track of my protein and my water and stuff like that. I can write that all down. And I haven't done anything color coordinated over here. I haven't designated any colors because I haven't quite picked them out yet. I haven't quite figured out what I want to use. So I'll figure that out. I think the stuff for, I think I'm telling myself that I only have, I write a paragraph, you know, just for my journaling of, you know, it was how did I feel today? You know, what was the weather today? Did I see something interesting? That sort of stuff, which kind of feeds into my therapist journal, my therapy journal, and then the dietitian journal is just, you know, what did I eat today? I'm thinking that's going to be like down here on the bottom. So that's the layout, and each one of the signatures, you can see how skinny January is, and the rest of them, each of those are a month. And like I said, I challenged myself to use what I have on hand. This is, I prefer to have graph paper in my journals, because sometimes I do draw, and I need that. I like that. And it was what I could get at the dollar store. The one bummer about this is that if you look at my fingers, some of the blue will come off a bit if I'm rubbing on it too much. And I also used, here's where we're going to talk about the stamps. I used this dye ink pad. I got it just because I loved the color. They didn't have any washable or anything. So I'd gotten this one, oh God, a couple of years ago. I'm really happy that it's stayed nice. And I used that for the March 2026. And then just used a pen that I already had to write in the number. Now over here, I've put the day in red, and that's another one of them that I got. These were, I think, on sale when I went to Michael's a couple of years ago. And I got them for like cheap. They were getting rid of them. I also, the $10 investment was in some, they aren't very neat and tidy anymore. It's the months of the year, and days of the week, and a couple of, you know, there's one that says holiday, one that says week, because I like to put the week of up here. So I'm going to do week on these. So, you know, weeks 1 through 52. And I'm going to do that. Now, you're probably wondering, I got these were really inexpensive. I want to say they were $4 something. And there's 2 in here that I haven't used. And it's just a clear block because I needed to be able to see where I was going with these. Now, the reason I didn't use this one is because there's some mechanism on the inside that keeps locking every time I will press down. If I can get it to... And I cannot, there's something that's broken on the inside, and this really cheeses me off because I bought this like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's now completely inoperable, and it's a piece of plastic that I can't use anymore, which just cheeses me off in like the biggest, cheesiest way. I used, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to put it back in my box of ink pads and stamp stuff. And perhaps at some point in the future, I'll figure out how to fix it. But I'm just really mad about that right now. These two were purchased last year. And I like the Stabilos for my colors here. And these are the colors that I, use over and over and over again. So I'm happy that the stamp pads are going to be something I can use again and again. Now, when it comes down to the sewing of the coptic, get this out of here, the coptic binding on here, I know that, number one, I'm not using archival paper. I'm using cheap acid-ridden paper. Everything in this is just acid-ridden. And when I say acid-ridden, you'll sometimes see things that'll say acid-free. What happens when paper degrades is the acidic compounds that are in the paper, that are part of the paper making process, will begin to eat away at the paper fibers. Now, if you're getting like this, brown paper here, just from grocery bags, this is unbleached paper. It's not archival. This stuff is made to kind of degrade quickly. Now, you should know that with paper, every time paper is recycled, it gets chopped up or soaked, and the paper fibers, the fibers within the paper, no matter if it's made out of tree pulp or cotton rag, other like papyrus. I don't think you can recycle papyrus like that, but the fibers get cut shorter and shorter and shorter, which means that the paper is less and less stable. So then they start adding other stuff to it. When you bleach paper like this, because this is just common paper that this is school paper. This is not meant to be around forever. This is very, very inexpensive paper. So this entire thing is not archival in the slightest. I do know how to do archival stuff. That's the way I was taught. And in an effort to just use whatever I had on hand, this is actually, and I got it for free. It's, where did I put it? I just saw it. Where did I put it? I put it sticking up. Yeah, here we go. It was, it's some, it's DMC cotton pearl, and this is a 5-weight. Now, you're probably asking, why would I use this? A, it was on hand, so I didn't have to buy anything. I really wanted to use linen thread for this, but I'm like, I don't want to spend the money on it. I just don't. Not for something like this. If I were making this to give to someone, oh, damn Skippy, I would make sure I had linen thread and use much better paper, blah, blah, blah. I know how to do it the archival way, or the right way. This is just me putting something together for my daily use. So it's, I don't want to say wonky. I haven't done a Coptic stitch in a long time. I was trying to think about this, and it's got to be over 10 years. So you can see here the cotton pearl is not exactly strong, but it'll suit my purpose here. And I kind of figure if I have this paper, it'll kind of help it along a little bit. So I still have another one to do. I went ahead and made both of them at the same time because I figured, knowing my brain and how everything works, I need to at least have this cut and ready to go. So this one is the July, and it will begin in July. I still have some of the, I don't know if you can see some of that. I write very lightly where the tops are. I just went ahead and covered this on the inside. I used the glue I had on hand, which is tacky glue. Which I'm going to need some new tacky glue. I'm down to my last bottle. I'm going to need some tacky glue soon. And used the watered version of it, so it adhered quickly and glued down completely flat. Because you can kind of see where some of the indents are from wrapping the boards. I didn't even trim these edges. I should have trimmed these edges so that they were flush. You kind of look at them here and you get the little saw, the little zigzag that's going back and forth. And I just decided I didn't want to do that. I did use my book cradle, the one that 4 keys, bookbindery. Dennis, the Canadian lovely man who does insanely archival books, he did. And this is just the sewing stations. And I basically, what you do is, I'm going to open this one up, pop it in here. It's basically like an extra set of hands, and it's a jig. That's what it is. I pop this in, and then I use my awl to make the holes along this side. And I always make sure everything is matched to the top, because some of the cuts on the paper were not fabulous. So it's not exactly, you look here and it's like, oh, we're a good, from these 3 on the end all the way up, we're a good 3 millimeters off. And again, I really don't care. I just need this to be something that I can access and write stuff down in so I don't forget it. One of the nice things about this, the design for this that he did, is that you can fold everything up. So I just fold it up and put it with some of the other tools that I use, but I don't use them very often. So those are safely kept out of the way. So coming back to the pool house, I keep thinking of it's like the pool house. One of the reasons I haven't done a whole lot of work on it right now is because I'm in the midst of, I am still getting images together. And it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. So I'm looking at, by the end of the week, I want to be done with those and have it sent off to the printer. We have quite a few things that we need to be out of the house and doing things next week. So we'll be going by the printer, just on our daily, walking around, because it's not that far away. So for this, I still need to finish a couple of little things in here, and I need to make some decisions about some colors. Plus, I have, again, some colors. I got these at the dollar store a while back, a couple of weeks ago, before Christmas, I think. And I'm going to be using these for the tab pages for each of the months. I worked out the math in this, and I think I can get 4 of them out of each of these. So I'm trying to figure out which colors I want to use and where I want to put them. And then I'm going to finish this up. And then, because I've been kind of going back and forth for the last, 3 or 4 days, I made these and then let them dry, because you know how impatient I am. But trying to sew and work on boards that are not completely dry is just a mess. It just makes it 9 times more frustrating. So I let these sit underneath some weights until everything dried, and they dried relatively flat. Again, close enough for me. And then sewed the book together, and then the thing, my little order came in, and I put that stuff together. So I'm going to be working on this a bit today, and I keep going back and forth. Like, I'll work on something and then put it away so it can dry or sit and breathe for a little while. Because in bookmaking, going really fast just doesn't work. I mean, unless you're doing like a quick saddle stitch book, which is just like bim, bam, boom, fold, stab holes, stitch, done. You can theoretically do that with 2 sewing stations. So I'm in the midst of finishing this one up. I'm not, I think, going to sew this other one up yet, because I need, how do I put this? I'm trying to figure out how to do content for my YouTube that is YouTube content, and then content for my Patreon that is Patreon content. which makes it a little bit more exclusive, I guess. I don't know. My brain is just, oh, lands. She's a mystery. But I've got some more work to do on this, and I want to make another one of these that's a little thicker, and that means I'm going to need to glue some papers together. I need to figure out how I want to do that. So I'm kind of right now going back and forth between things and doing the Asimov multiple typewriters. It's like I'll work on this one until I don't have any more ideas, or I'm not sure how I want to go. Then I'm going to go work on the digital stuff, and then I can think about the physical stuff and make some decisions and try some things out in my brain to see if it's going to work. Because I do a lot of road testing before I try something in my head, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I'll get some more decent content about actually making things here soon, because I'm still sorting out the stuff with the website, still sorting out, finishing up the cut and fold furniture, because there's a part of me now that there's a part of me, seriously, I just want to, like, here it is, fold these things, stick them together. I don't even want to do directions on them. Is that like a bad thing? And there's part of me that's like, no, you can't do that, because not everybody can just look at something and go, oh, I see how that goes. Because, yeah. So, patrons, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for listening to me ramble. And I will see you in the next video that is all for you. Thank you.